How to find a general contractor and make sure you don't get taken for a ride. Every year, thousands of homeowners get burned by bad contractors. Unfinished kitchens, vanished deposits, surprise invoices, and shoddy work that costs more to fix than the original job. The good news is that almost every horror story shares the same root causes. No license check, no real contract, money paid too far ahead of the work, and gut feelings ignored. If you follow a disciplined process, you can screen out nearly all of the bad actors before they ever touch your project. This guide walks you through finding a general contractor and, more importantly, protecting yourself at every step. 1. Before you search, know exactly what you're buying. The single most common way homeowners get taken for a ride starts before they ever meet a contractor. They don't know what they want. Vague scope creates room for vague bids. Vague bids create room for surprise change orders. And surprise change orders are where budgets die. Before contacting anyone, write down the scope, which rooms or systems are involved, what is being removed, built, or replaced. Even a rough sketch helps. The finish level. Are you expecting builder-grade materials or custom finishes? Kitchen remodel can mean $25,000 or $150,000 depending on this answer. Your budget, including a contingency. Set aside 10 to 20% on top of your expected cost for the unknown. If your absolute maximum is $100,000, shop as if your budget is $85,000. Your timeline. Know your must bid on by date and whether it's flexible. What permits might be required. Structural changes, electrical, plumbing, and additions usually need permits. If you don't know, your local building department will tell you over the phone for free. A contractor can only be compared to another contractor if they're bidding the same thing. Doing this homework turns Find a GC from a shot in the dark into a shopping exercise with criteria. 2. Where to find general contractors. Cast a wide but local net. Great contractors are busy, local, and often don't advertise much, which is why the best leads come from people, not ads. Personal referrals. Ask friends, family, and neighbors who had similar work done. Not just was it good, but would you hire them again, on schedule and on budget? Also ask people who had bad experiences. They'll happily warn you away from specific companies. Trade insiders. Architects, structural engineers, building inspectors, and even the staff at local lumberyards and plumbing supply houses know which contractors pay their bills on time, show up when they say they will, and do clean work. These sources have zero reason to market anyone and are often the most honest leads you'll get. The building department. Your local permit office can tell you which contractors pull permits regularly in your area. A contractor who pulls permits on a regular basis is, by definition, doing permitted work, which matters more than you might think. Professional associations. Look for members of your local home builders association or the associated general contractors chapter. Membership isn't proof of quality, but it signals a contractor who invests in their business and follows a code of ethics. Online directories and reviews. Angie, House, the Better Business Bureau, and Google Business Profiles are useful for building a shortlist and checking complaint histories. Treat online reviews as one data point among several, not gospel. Both fake positive reviews and vindictive negative ones exist. Active job sites. If you see a construction project in your neighborhood that looks well run, clean site, professional crew, clear signage, knock on the door and ask the homeowner about their experience. Nothing reveals a contractor's habits like their current job site. Search engines. Typing general contractor near me into Google works, but remember, the companies at the top are the best at marketing, not necessarily the best at building. Use search results to find names, then vet them using everything below. Aim for a shortlist of 5 to 8 names. You'll narrow it to 3 for actual bids. 3. Vetting. How to verify a contractor is legit. This is where you separate professionals from predators. None of these steps is optional. Verify the license yourself. Don't take a contractor's word for it. Look up the license number on your state's licensing board website. Most states have a free online lookup. Confirm the license is active, in the correct classification for your project type, and matches the name on the contractor's paperwork. Watch for contractors who borrow someone else's license number. Require proof of insurance. 2 kinds. You want general liability insurance, covers damage to your property or third parties, and workers' compensation, covers injured workers on your property. Get actual certificates of insurance, and call the insurer to confirm they're current. Without workers' comp, An injured worker on your property could become your financial problem in many states. Check bonding. A bonded contractor has a surety policy that can pay out if they fail to complete the job or fail to pay subcontractors and suppliers. Ask for the bond amount and the surety company's name. Check history and complaints. Search the business name plus words like complaint, scam, lawsuit, or lien. Check the BBB, your state's Consumer Protection Office, and court records for judgments. A few complaints on a 20-year-old business is normal. A pattern of unresolved complaints, or a business that's 2 years old with 3 different names, is not. Demand references, and actually call them. Ask for 3 references from projects similar to yours, completed in the last 1 to 5 years. Call all of them. Ask, was the project on time? On budget? How were problems handled? Would you hire them again? A legitimate contractor will provide references eagerly. A hesitant one is telling you something. Visit a current job site if possible. 10 minutes on an active site tells you more than a portfolio of finished rooms. Is it organized? Are materials protected? Is the crew professional? Is the homeowner happy? Beware of the fly-by-night. No physical address, only a cell phone, brand new LLC, cash-only pricing, or we just finished a job for your neighbor down the street and have leftover materials are all classic warning signs. 4. Getting bids. 3 is the magic number. Invite your top 3 finalists to bid on the identical written scope of work. Give each one the same documents, the same timeline, and the same questions. A proper bid should include a detailed line item breakdown of labor, materials, and subcontractor costs. Allowances for items not yet selected, tile, fixtures, flooring, with specific dollar amounts. A project schedule with rough start and completion dates. Who pulls permits and schedules inspections. Payment terms. Warranty terms. What is explicitly excluded? This is often more important than what's included. When the bids arrive, throw out the outlier. If 2 bids are $80,000 and $85,000 and one is $52,000, the low bid is not a bargain. Either the contractor misunderstood the scope, plans to recover money through change orders, is cutting corners on materials or subs, or simply doesn't understand the business well enough to survive your project. The lowest bid is the most expensive mistake in construction. Be equally wary of the bid that's dramatically higher without explanation. Ask what they're including that others aren't. Interview each bidder. You're not just buying construction, you're buying a months-long relationship with someone in your home. If they're late to the bid meeting, dismissive of your questions, or sloppy with details, multiply that by 90 days of construction. 5. The contract, where you actually protect yourself. If you remember one thing from this guide, make it this: the contract is your protection, not a formality. Every story of a homeowner getting taken for a ride begins with a handshake, a one-page quote, or a contract nobody read. Your contract should include, at minimum, a detailed scope of work. Attach plans, specifications, product names, model numbers, and finishes. Contractor-grade fixtures is not a specification. K3814-0 is. Price and payment structure. Understand what you're signing. Fixed price. One total number for the defined scope. Best for most residential projects. Cost plus. You pay actual costs plus a percentage markup. Fine if you trust the contractor completely and demand to see every receipt. Dangerous otherwise. Time and materials. Pay by the hour and material. Risky for anything but small jobs. A milestone-based payment schedule. Payments should be tied to completed, inspected work, not calendar dates, and never mostly upfront. A common safe structure, small deposit, in many states, legally capped at 10% or a few $1,000s, then payments at defined milestones, demolition complete, framing complete, mechanical rough INS passed, drywall complete, final walkthrough. Never let payments run ahead of work. If a contractor demands more than a third down before meaningful work begins, walk away. Change order procedure. Any change to scope must be in writing, signed by both parties, with a price impact stated before the work proceeds. No verbal while we are at it additions. Schedule and delays. Include a start date, substantial completion date, and what happens with legitimate delays, whether back-ordered materials. Some contracts include liquidated damages, a per-day penalty for unjustified delays, permits and inspections. The contract should state that the contractor obtains all required permits and schedules inspections. A contractor who asks to skip permits, or who asks you to pull permits as the homeowner, is transferring legal and financial risk onto you and signaling they may not be licensed. Lien waivers. More on this below, but the contract should require the contractor to provide lien waivers with every payment. Warranty. Standard is 1 year on workmanship, longer on specific systems. Get it in writing. Termination clause. How either party can exit if things go wrong, and what happens to money already paid. Cleanup, debris removal, and daily conduct. Small items, big quality of life impact. If the project is large, have an attorney review the contract. A few $100s of legal review against a 6-figure project is the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. 6. Red flags. Signs you're about to be taken for a ride. Some warning signs are so reliable they deserve their own list. If you see more than one, walk away. Large cash deposit demanded upfront, especially more than 10 to 30% before any work begins. Cash-only discounts that conveniently avoid taxes and records. Pressure tactics. This price is only good today. I have another job starting next week. My crew is literally on the way. Door-to-door offers, especially after storms or disasters. Storm chasers follow hurricanes and hail across the country, collect deposits, and vanish. No written contract, or a contract that's one vague paragraph. Unlicensed or uninsured, or unable, unwilling to let you verify. No references, no portfolio, no physical business address. The low bid, dramatically below everyone else. Requests to skip permits or to have you pull the homeowner's permit. Reluctance to put anything in writing. Timelines, allowances, warranties. Frequent name changes or a brand new company with no track record, despite the person claiming decades of experience. Your gut. If something feels off in a sales conversation, it will feel worse during a dispute over a $4,000 change order. A contractor who asks to skip permits, or who asks you to pull permits as the homeowner, is transferring legal and financial risk onto you and signaling they may not be licensed. Lien waivers. More on this below, but the contract should require the contractor to provide lien waivers with every payment. Warranty. Standard is 1 year on workmanship, longer on specific systems. Get it in writing. Termination clause. How either party can exit if things go wrong, and what happens to money already paid. Cleanup, debris removal, and daily conduct. Small items, big quality of life impact. If the project is large, have an attorney review the contract. A few $100s of legal review against a 6-figure project is the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. 6. Red flags. Signs you're about to be taken for a ride. Some warning signs are so reliable they deserve their own list. If you see more than one, walk away. Large cash deposit demanded upfront, especially more than 10 to 30% before any work begins. Cash-only discounts that conveniently avoid taxes and records. Pressure tactics. This price is only good today. I have another job starting next week. My crew is literally on the way. Door-to-door offers, especially after storms or disasters. Storm chasers follow hurricanes and hail across the country, collect deposits, and vanish. No written contract, or a contract that's one vague paragraph. Unlicensed or uninsured, or unable, unwilling to let you verify. No references, no portfolio, no physical business address. The low bid, dramatically below everyone else. Requests to skip permits or to have you pull the homeowner's permit. Reluctance to put anything in writing. Timelines, allowances, warranties. Frequent name changes or a brand new company with no track record, despite the person claiming decades of experience. Your gut. If something feels off in a sales conversation, it will feel worse during a dispute over a $4,000 change order. Trust your instincts. In construction, the polished talker and the reliable builder are frequently two different people. 7. Protecting yourself during the job. Signing the contract is the beginning, not the end, of your protection. Never pay ahead of the work. Before each payment, walk the site and confirm the milestone is genuinely complete. If the contractor needs money to buy materials for next week's phase, that's a sign their cash flow, or honesty, is shaky. Get a lien waiver with every single payment. Here's the danger most homeowners don't know. If your GC fails to pay a subcontractor or supplier, they can place a mechanic's lien on your house, even though you already paid the GC. A lien waiver is a signed statement that the contractor, and ideally their subs and suppliers, has been paid and waives the right to lien for that payment. No waiver, no check. This is non-negotiable. Keep everything in writing. Confirmations, change orders, selections, schedule updates, email or text, anything that creates a record. As we discussed, is not a record. Document the project. Photos and short videos a few times a week, dated. They're invaluable if there's ever a dispute about what was promised versus what was done, and they're satisfying to watch at the end. Watch the allowances. Allowances are budget placeholders for items you haven't picked yet. Contractors sometimes quote unrealistically low allowances to make the bid look attractive, then charge you the difference when you pick what you actually wanted. Ask whether each allowance is realistic for the quality you expect, and get it in the contract. Verify inspections happen. For major work, confirm that required inspections are being scheduled and passed. Your building department can tell you the inspection history for your address. Unpermitted, uninspected work can haunt you at sale time and void insurance claims. Keep the final payment until the punch list is complete. Typically 5 to 10% is held back until every item on the punch list is finished, all inspections pass, and all lien waivers, including final waivers from subcontractors and suppliers, are in hand. 8. If things go wrong. Even with perfect diligence, problems happen. Here's the escalation ladder. Document everything. Photos, written communication, receipts, the contract. Raise it in writing with the contractor, citing the contract. Many disputes resolve here when the contractor knows you're keeping records. Contact the licensing board. State contractor licensing boards can investigate complaints, and the threat of an investigation gets attention. If the contractor is bonded, you can file a claim against the bond. File complaints with the BBB and your state's Consumer Protection Office. Try mediation before litigation. Many contracts require it, and it's far cheaper. For large losses, consult a construction attorney. For smaller ones, small claims court may suffice. The most important thing is speed. Lien claims, bond claims, and legal actions all have deadlines. 9. The 60-second checklist. Written scope and budget with 10 to 20% contingency defined. Shortlist built from referrals plus trade insiders, not just ads. License verified directly with the state board. Certificates of insurance, liability plus workers' comp, received and confirmed. 3 references called. Current job site visited if possible. 3 written bids on identical scope, outlier discarded. Fixed price contract with milestone payments, small deposit. Change orders in writing, priced before work proceeds. Contractor pulling all permits. Inspections verified. Lien waiver collected with every payment. Final payment withheld until punch list is done and all final waivers are in hand. Final word. Finding a great general contractor isn't about luck, it's about process. The contractors who take people for a ride depend on homeowners who skip verification, sign vague contracts, and pay too much too early. The contractor who builds your project well depends on you knowing what you want and communicating it clearly. Do the boring work upfront. Verify licenses, call references, read the contract, keep records. It feels tedious next to the excitement of remodeling. But that tedium is exactly what stands between you and a horror story. Hire slow, pay carefully, and keep everything in writing, and you'll get what you paid for, a finished project you can enjoy for years, instead of a cautionary tale you'll tell for decades.